What's going on, everybody?
I still think you should keep the music on. What do you
It is on a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's on a little
relaxing.
bit. I mean, it's not. I mean, that's fine. That's light. I'd rather just turn it off, but that's okay.
Hi, everybody.
What's going on? We are talking everything Carolina forests tonight.
Yay.
Tiffany's got her tea. She's a little maybe under the weather. It's been rough. It's been rough.
It's been a rough 3 months.
Holy camole.
You send me prayers. Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you, the bug that's going around, I'm sure everybody's heard, the flu and the cold and I don't know, just call it COVID or whatever, but
I got the mega whatever.
Tiffany had all three at the same time.
It's awful. During the whole holiday season, the entire season. Crazy.
Yeah. So this evening, we're talking everything Carolina Forest. We're talking if you're a buyer, a seller, an investor, this is going to be for you because we're going to talk everything Carolina Forest. We're going to talk about, how it got started. We're going to talk about, or just at least what it used to look like. Mm-hmm. And we're going to give you our feedback of what it's been since we've been here. And we'll talk everything about Carolina Forest, schools, new construction, what it's like to live here. We'll go through everything. I think you even have some special stats that you were pulling up. We'll have to have a disclaimer.
My stats
accurate.
Are wrong.
no, but they're accurate, but I don't know. You just want to make sure that they're accurate. So
the biggest is to give, I think, insight on why we love and choose to live in Carolina Forest. We've lived there for over a decade now, and we sell all over the Grand Strand, which is a huge area. But we always decide Carolina Forest is the right place for our family. And maybe we can go into that a little bit today. But I know you always have your notes of how you want this to go.
Well, it's not that it has to go that way. It's just good to talk about, in a specific order because I don't want to miss anything. But
okay.
Let's start with a little bit about what Carolina Forest used to be. Some of it we've heard, we saw when we were here. I mean, it's changed so much in just
since we moved here.
We've been here
that's crazy.
14 years, and the amount of change and growth has been insane.
But if you think about it, Carolina Forest started in the late 1990s, like 99, I think. So it's like a little baby community, but it's really blown up. I mean, it's still. They can't build them fast enough in Carolina Forest. And unfortunately, people joke that the forest is leaving Carolina Forest because everybody's building neighborhoods, but there is still a ton of trees, and it's specifically built around a preserve area. And that was part of the planning.
Yeah, and it also used to be, along with all the forestry and large tracts of land, a lot of swamp. Which is why we have the thumbnail we have. I'm sure a lot of people are like, why do they have that thumbnail? So
you have it. Old school Myrtle Beach people like to claim Carolina Forest is built on a swamp. So.
My thumbnail is a little dramatic, but I think it's
there
fun.
Is still a bunch of swamp land and open land.
For sure.
But our houses are not sinking into the swamp or anything.
Yeah.
You would never know.
But it is a large area that is more raw. And I think it's interesting. This kind of leads into the next part of this, which is why has it exploded in popularity?
Well, I think first we should and we've clarified this on our YouTube videos before, but in case people haven't watched that, Carolina Forest is not a town. It's not a city. It's actually Myrtle Beach mailing address.
Good point.
But it's in the county part. Yeah. It's not actually in the city limits of Myrtle Beach, but we are considered Myrtle Beach. However, people in the Grand Strand refer to Carolina Forest, so we know what part of town we're talking about. And that's what this master planned community was named, Carolina Forest. And some people have talked about turning it into a town, a city, incorporating it. And it's polarizing. When you see people's comments on that, some people are like, we don't want to be in a city, that's why we're here. And some people want it for extra services. So it's interesting, and it'll be interesting to see if that ever does come about.
For sure. And, it was, cheaper, right? It was cheaper. Like any city, as you get outside the city, it gets more affordable. And so in the beginning, Carolina Forest was this place outside of Myrtle Beach. When you think of Myrtle Beach, you think of a lot of the communities that are basically right on the ocean, right? So you have a lot of communities out that way,
So Myrtle Beach is between the ocean and the Intracoastal Waterway.
Correct.
And Carolina Forest is on the west side of the Intracoastal Waterway and borders the waterway. A lot of the neighborhoods are along the waterway. So even though you're saying like, oh, you're far away and it's cheaper, it's not actually far away. Our office right now is in Myrtle Beach, and it takes 10 minutes to get here from our house, or less, depending
I would say
on traffic.
less sometimes,
Less,
And if you did a straight shot from the ocean, if you just drew a straight line from our home to the ocean, long do you think it would? How far do you think that is?
A few miles. But the problem is, there's only certain places you can cross over the Intracoastal Waterway, and so that's where it adds a little bit of time, because everybody's going over those two roadways.
100%.
To get across. But we're actually not far, but you're right. It was, I think, started out as more affordable than the oceanfront communities, and newer, because a lot of the land by the ocean was already built into neighborhoods that were older.
That's right.
So
what you'll see is, a lot of people that we know that grew up here, they moved back after school or as they got older, and they're moving into neighborhoods where they grew up. And then some of the homes need rehab because they're, been around for a long time. Carolina Forest is largely all new construction or newer homes in the last 20 years, 15 years, right?
Yeah, I think most of Carolina Forest people that grew up in Myrtle Beach at the Grand Strand would say we're all the out-of-towners, transplants. Everybody that moves here new to the area lives in Carolina Forest, whereas the old school, Myrtle Beach people are like in those really great communities that they have by the ocean.
And I think it, you favor one or the other, or, also I would say one of the draws to Carolina Forest, not only is it for people that are transplants, people that are moving in from outside of Myrtle Beach in this area, but it's also where a lot of people want to be, as far as like away from the hustle and bustle.
Yes.
So there's
tourism.
Yes. So all the tourists, nobody really knows about Carolina Forest.
I never knew. I came here all the time because I went to college in Wilmington, but I also grew up in vacation here, and I had no clue that existed, because you have no reason to go that far west. And where it is north of 501. So you're coming in on 501, and there's no real reason for you to do that because you're going straight to the beach. So all of the sections of Carolina Forest, there's no reason for a tourist to
come over this way.
Come over. Yeah.
And so I think that's a large reason why most of us that live and work in Myrtle Beach, that live in Carolina Forest, are in Carolina Forest, may not want to be closer to where all the hustle and bustle is. We do have a couple bike weeks in the year, and a lot of traffic. So when you're out that way, you get to avoid a lot of that, even though we are starting to have traffic ourselves, because Myrtle Beach has been named, at least out of the last 5 years, one of the top destinations to move to in the whole country. And that has probably put a spotlight on us, and a lot of people are moving here for many reasons.
And the Carolina Forest area has about 23,000 people, but it's not that big. It's only a little over 17 square miles. So it's not a huge area, but we have a large population there, and a ton of schools, with schools, medical, shopping, grocery stores, restaurants. I mean, everything you can think of is within this radius of Carolina Forest. You would really not have to leave Carolina Forest if you did not want to. You'd have all of your stuff covered.
No, I agree. And so
that's why I like it.
That's a good reason to answer why it has exploded. So one is location, probably
close
cost. In the beginning, it was cost. Now
not as much anymore.
Not as much anymore. But proximity to the beach. So
Mm-hmm.
location, proximity to the beach. Like she said, the hospitals, the schools, close to major retail,
Mm-hmm.
master plan designs. So you have big communities that are newer. Now, if you go closer to the beach, a lot of the older neighborhoods have more trees,
Mm-hmm.
and they left a lot of that, which we do like about some of those neighborhoods.
For sure.
Out here, though, because it was the fastest growing, we wanted to be here for our business. I think was a large part of it, and we also favored newer homes at the time. So,
Well, it's central to the Grand Strand. So for us, we need to be down in Pawleys Island, up in North Myrtle Beach, Little River. And Carolina Forest is really only about 30 minutes from everything. We're kind of right in the middle, and then 10 minutes from the beach. So it's a great location for us to be central to all the things that the Grand Strand has to offer, not just one area.
that's true. There's a lot of builders here.
Yeah.
A lot of building and a lot of builders, a lot of
No,
new
for sure.
communities. What would you say, as far as, it's got a good mix of different types of homes.
Yes.
You've got entry level, you've got, the higher end luxury,
Mhm.
you've got,
It has all.
everything.
It has the D.R. Horton's
Rentals.
Lennars that are great price per square foot, new construction. Then you have the builders like Beazer, Chesapeake Homes, which are that like little bit nicer tract builders that let you pick some more options. And then you have the custom home builders. You have gated communities. You have non-gated communities. You have waterway communities. You have amazing amenities in the communities,
Mhm.
because the interesting thing is 60% of the population of Carolina Forest is between the age of 18 and 65. So these people are living there, having families and doing their thing, and the amenities are a big draw.
I think it's interesting. What's the percentage above 65? Like 20%, 18? And below
Mhm.
18 is
22%.
22.
Mhm.
So, most people are in that middle-aged range.
Yeah, I guess
And-
we fit in. I guess we're part of that.
I'm almost the
You're almost no,
We
you're
make-
not close.
Well, but we always joke about that. But if you think about it, you assume, you make assumptions. Myrtle Beach, you think 55
Totally.
and better, which there are 55 and better communities. But I think that's going to be more and more.
Well,
a
we
draw.
always said this before we moved to Myrtle Beach. We honestly didn't plan to live in Myrtle Beach because we thought it was retirees or
Yeah.
vacationers. Like that's, I think, what a lot of people picture in their mind when they think of Myrtle Beach. Or if you've just vacationed here, for example, like we were saying, they don't drive through Carolina Forest, so you don't really see all of the families and people of working age just living here and doing their life here.
How would you, especially if you're staying on the beach? You're on the beach every day. You're in an oceanfront property. You're having
Yeah.
fun. You're vacationing. You're not. I never do that when I go places. I don't think about the work. People that are just going to their job every day.
I think that's what surprised me when we first moved here is you would think the Grand Strand would become a sleepy town in the off season. And it really has stuff going on all year round, not just because of tourism, but because I think so many people have moved here and made it their permanent home or their second home, which a lot of times if it's their second home, they're coming during the winter season. Today was gorgeous, by the way.
It was
But we're
gorgeous.
supposed to get an ice storm this weekend. No, but
We won't talk
it's
about
like
that.
it's 60s and sunny and beautiful today.
I
So
haven't walked into a grocery store lately. I'm sure it's like pandemonium.
Yeah, we don't like the word ice or snow here. So
Yeah, it's not a good thing. Do you think, though, that with all the building, it's a bad thing?
So one thing I think everybody agrees with about Horry County in general is we build and then think about infrastructure second. So I feel like the county, the cities are always catching up to the growth instead of anticipating the growth and preparing for the growth. So there's lag time. When we first moved to Carolina Forest Boulevard was only 2 lanes, and you could be stuck in traffic for so long. There was no stoplights. I mean, you did not want to be driving on Carolina Forest in the morning or like after work hours.
Yeah.
And now it's been widened to 4 lanes with walking paths on each side all the way from River Oaks to 501. and added stoplights. It's amazing. It's
Well, they're
like no
focusing-
traffic anymore on
Yeah.
Carolina Forest Boulevard. All of that congestion was just completely relieved. But now River Oaks Drive is where we're experiencing that issue, which was on the Next Ride program, which is what Horry County puts together to take tax money towards road projects. And so River Oaks was actually one of those. I don't know if it was selected to be widened, but there is so much growth coming on
thought
that
it
road,
was
and
in
we're
the next couple
becoming
years.
we're becoming like what Carolina Forest Boulevard used to be 10 years ago.
Yes. And they'll do that. And the nice thing is they are focusing on walkability.
True. That's amazing.
That's a big deal. And there's so much to do outdoors here. And I think they're really focusing on like walkability from here over to
all the way.
beach-
There's a
beach
whole
area.
greenway. It
Yeah.
connects to like up and down the East Coast, actually. And so all of their infrastructure planning does include bike paths, walking paths that all connect to each other throughout the city, which is really cool. And I'm excited. I did read that on the ride program, if that did go through with River Oaks, they were planning to continue the walking paths along River Oaks as well, which would be amazing. But we also have a bike park within Carolina Forest that a lot of people bike to,
They do.
and it connects to other places. So there's a lot to offer in Carolina Forest. Library,
agree.
recreation center, community playground.
You made a comment earlier. I think it's interesting that they're taking the forest out of Carolina Forest.
It's what
are
people
ta-
joke about.
They are
For
taking,
sure.
they are leveling a lot of trees. I mean, that is part of the issue, and that is taking place when they clear for these
Yeah.
communities. I mean, it's just like woof, and it's happening fast. Most of the
Mhm.
communities are bigger builders, most of them, and then you get the smaller guys like us or whoever
Mhm.
that's like more regional or smaller, and they're doing one in here, one there.
Well, the big builders just clear the land and then just start throwing them up, and which is good. It serves a certain purpose and allows a lot of families to move in and at a more affordable prices.
And I think it's also interesting. We're all hoping. So we really, you mentioned roads. I mean, in the beginning, 31 didn't extend all the way into Carolina Forest.
Well, 31, when we first moved here, was just opening up,
Yeah.
and it didn't even extend down to 707. It just stopped at 501. And so they've been extending it. The goal was to go up to North Carolina and down to past Pawleys Island where you could get to Charleston more easy. But I haven't seen any progress on that yet.
And
But-
there's the talk of becoming larger, all these different things happening here, bigger businesses coming. But until we have the infrastructure here to match, to support a bigger business coming, and they do look at rooftops. So, we've got a lot of those types of conversations taking place. And
Well, one thing about the roads that is already in the works is an interchange onto 31 from the heart of Carolina Forest, because everybody now has to go around the circle to get to the sides where the waterway is, basically, to get onto 31. And so 31 already exists there. We just can't get onto it easily.
that's right.
So once that project is done, I think that's going to relieve a lot of traffic congestion in the area, because most of the people going on the perimeter are to go to the beach area are trying to get to 31.
That's right.
So
Hi,
That'll be
I just
exciting.
wanted to make a comment.
Oh.
Hi, my name is Eddie. This is a real live show. Yes, you're in. You're good.
Oh.
Hi, thanks for joining. But yes, this is actually live. So I agree with you, though. It's interesting to see the growth here in Myrtle Beach, and we've seen lots of different estimates as to where this will be going over the next 5 years, 10 years, and there's many places in the U.S. that'll be on that list of top 5 to top 7, top 10. We've been consistently one of them, but I've seen lots of estimates in the hundreds of thousands moving here over a significant, a number of years. And that's going to change things drastically. So we're building extra schools. Heck, we could talk about the elementary school and how they had the,
Yeah, they just
not
put
much
in
room.
in Carolina Forest alone, which we're talking is only 17 square miles. They just put in 2 brand new elementary schools that opened the 25 to 26 school year. And that really alleviated a lot of overcrowding at our elementary schools. I mean, it's crazy how many schools we have within this tiny little area. It's one of the places that clients come and they ask specifically to be in the Carolina Forest School District. So that's
100%.
a big draw to
Yeah.
that part of town as well.
We get a lot of requests for that. And you mentioned, I hate to even bring this up, but you mentioned shopping earlier. So, depends on what you're looking for in the shopping
You can get to
arena.
the outlets without even leaving Carolina Forest.
I think the outlets is a big draw for people. If you want, the bigger stores, the fancier stores, we go to Charleston, right?
Well, yeah, like
yeah, the real fan and a bigger
name.
selection. But if you like the outlets and you like to go,
I like the outlets. Value shopping all the way.
yeah. So outlets, we have 2. We have the one on 501, and then we have the one over by North Myrtle Beach. On your way
Correct.
to North Myrtle Beach. So
But one of them is within the radius of Carolina Forest.
yes, that's correct.
And we just got a BJ's, which is, if you don't know, it's kind of like a Costco, Sam's Club, even though we do have Costco and Sam's Club.
Mhm.
From our house, it only takes 10 to 15 minutes to get to those and Target. But they just got a BJ's in the Carolina Forest area, which is another one of those type of stores.
I think it's fair to say too, Carolina Forest is a great location, like to reach everything, centrally located, not just in general for people that want to be close to the beach.
I agree. I mean, what would you say your top reasons for wanting to continue to live? We built 2 houses in Carolina Forest.
Mhm.
So what do you think your top reasons for continuing to want to live in Carolina Forest is?
I think location. I think for our business, for sure. Now, the tough part is once you start, and we don't even live in a large area, but when it comes down to schools, because of where our son has already started, so switching schools and things like that. I do like the fact that we are centrally located. I think that's probably the biggest draw for me.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of cool, we're going to do tours of communities closer to the ocean in the future, but there are some really cool things about neighborhoods and communities out that way that I like. For me right now, a lot of the neighborhoods out this way in Carolina Forest have mostly what we want, but I love a lot of the neighborhoods out there closer to the ocean too.
But today's topic is
Yes,
Carolina Forest.
I know.
You're getting off topic.
I mean, that's really what I like about it is location. I think that's it. I like the fact that there still are. You have the nature park, the Lewis Bay,
Mhm.
not too far down the road. For those of you that don't know, this little cool side fact:
Okay.
Carolina Forest is not really Carolina Forest, but it is in Horry County. We have the highest concentration of black bears, if I'm not mistaken, in the whole state of South Carolina, which is really interesting.
But we do have a lot of black bears actually in Carolina Forest.
We do.
You see them in neighborhoods like Black Creek, the farm, a lot. The neighborhoods that basically are in the perimeter of the preserve. But we have seen them in our neighborhood before,
Yep.
just walking around.
Yeah. Which
One
isn't
of our
weird.
neighbors posted, because they have a little camera in the woods, they posted a coyote, a pretty big size coyote.
Yes.
Deer for sure, but all of those forests that are now becoming communities, it's driving the animals out where we're seeing them a little more, I think.
Yeah.
Even though they do have that protected preserve area for that was a big deal in our area to keep,
Especially when they were doing. You remember how long it took them to do
open international.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! Which I get it, and we both love animals. But oh my gosh, that really slowed international down.
It
But
did.
the whole black bear population and everything else.
But International Drive connects to Highway 90 towards Conway, and that since
Oh, man.
International Drive has opened up past the preserve, once they got that figured out to have bear tunnels or whatever was the end result, that area has exploded. I'm serious. They wanted
I know.
an access for
I
the
thought it was
bear
more
to get
like
across
over
the street.
over the back, yeah. They have that in some places where they can go over the roads, and it's just
Yeah,
natural.
it's under now. Here, the tunnel.
Um,
So there was supposed to be a hospital built on International Drive, but that was denied. There was people against getting any of the forest down there. So, but we do have emergency rooms at both main access points to Carolina Forest, as well as a ton of doctors, specialists of every kind you can think of.
there's been a lot of medical buildings that have
Surgical
popped up.
centers, dentists, orthodontists, even just stuff for Hudson, like he does gymnastics, there's soccer, there's basketball, baseball, everything you can think of. Again, you wouldn't have to leave Carolina Forest and you would have so many activities to do,
Yeah, it's really interesting.
which is what I love.
Yeah. It's tough. It's a tough thing because I understand the people that don't want Myrtle Beach to grow. They want it to be kept the way it was, old school Myrtle Beach. It's quaint. It's your quaint little beach town. You know what I mean? I get that. And then you have the people that come here and everybody's looking for more. They have a beach town, but they want to have all these amenities. And so it's tough.
How many coastal towns offer the amount of amenities that we have here? There's not that many that you can be so close to the beach and really have everything you have in a big city. I mean, you don't have like designer stores like Louis Vuitton or anything like that, but Charleston's a hop, skip, and a jump away, and you have
2 hours
there.
to be exact.
So I think it's so unique of an area to live in.
Yeah.
But also the access to the beach here is so amazing. So even if you live in Carolina Forest, you go to the beach. A lot of the neighborhoods are 10 minutes to the beach. Some of the neighborhoods on the outskirts of Carolina Forest to the west side, 30 minutes, would you say, to the beach, max. So, but 10 minutes to the beach. And then every single avenue in Myrtle Beach is a public access for parking. So it is really easy to go to the beach here.
For sure.
No matter where you live.
Well, if you compare it to especially other beach towns that are near here. So you've got Charleston, you've got Wilmington.
Well, I lived in Wilmington for a long time. It was very hard.
Much different
access.
situation, yeah. And that we get that question a lot. It's much easier to get to the beach here.
The
Public access
stretch of the beach is just so long. So 60 miles of coastline. It's amazing. So, but that's the thing I love about where we live is we have our short-term rental oceanfront condos. We can be there in 10 to 20 minutes, depending on which one it is, from our home in Carolina Forest. But then we go home and we feel like we're in a total different universe. We're not even living at the beach. You know what I mean?
100%.
But then there is also, if you like boating, there is several communities that are on the waterway in Carolina Forest. And we've done community tours of most of the neighborhoods in Carolina Forest, so check those out. And they have places in the neighborhood where you can actually store your boat, and they have access ramps and sometimes docks where you can just put your boat or your jet skis right into the waterway and go out to the ocean.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
It is cool. So let's talk about the good and the bad with the boat ramps, and let's talk about the good and the bad. I wanted to go back to traffic. So,
oh my goodness.
I know, we're going back because some people talk about bad traffic, and I think that's subjective. So
that's true.
I lived in DC, lived in Charlotte, lived outside Chicago,
I grew up
lived
in Raleigh.
outside DC. I've lived in many cities. DC was probably the worst. DC traffic, you're talking a couple hours in the morning and a couple hours in the evening to get
That's
home,
what my
for
clients
sure.
even still say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's bad traffic. Here, if I leave to go to Carolina Forest home from, if you want to call it Myrtle Beach, which is over the bridge, in traffic, it would take me, if I leave at 5:30, I'm home by 5:45, no, not 5:45, probably like 5:50, 5:55. So you're talking 20, 25 minutes. That's bad here.
Yeah.
And then it's cleared up by 6.
Well,
So it's not long.
Did you know the average commute for people living in Carolina Forest is 22 minutes?
Ah, see?
I
Bam.
brought the facts.
I was right on the money. So that's bad traffic here. Not a
But
big
it's
deal.
like, oh, I went through that stoplight twice. Oh my gosh, it's a really bad traffic.
I know.
We get spoiled here, especially
Yes.
like I said, in Carolina Forest. you have restaurants, you have grocery stores, you have doctors all within a mile or two. So when you have to go over 2 miles away from your house, you're like, oh my gosh, going across town
Yes.
to get there. We are so spoiled because
We
in
are.
Charlotte, oh my gosh, you would drive 30 minutes and was like a quick drive.
Yes. And we
You
have
know?
different problems. So, we have boat problems. If you have a boat and you're on the intercoastal waterway and you don't have a dock, like Tiffany said, you can
Yeah.
put it in, if you have
Or
storage,
jet skis.
if you have jet skis or a boat and you have storage in your neighborhood. The problem is the amount of spots that a lot of neighborhoods have. It's not enough for everybody in the neighborhood. So then you have to go somewhere else and that costs some money, not the end of the world, but that's just what happens when you get a boat. You get a boat, you got these new problems. More money, more problems. So, but those are the conversations that go on inside like our neighborhood and other neighborhoods. If you have a boat, then you got to figure that stuff out. But traffic's not that bad if you compare it,
Oh my
comparatively
goodness.
speaking, it's not
Yeah,
that big a deal.
our traffic here is not bad traffic compared to where most of our clients and where we grew up,
Yeah, it's totally different.
So I would not complain about traffic.
Yeah, we have some other things that might be coming in the future to help with traffic. Like she said, widening of the roads, that could be huge. That would be awesome if they could do that. Stoplights in certain sections. But again, it's all infrastructure stuff. They weren't prepared for.
But what I also am surprised at with traffic, since we're still on this topic, is during the summertime when there's millions of tourists
That's
in
true,
and
too.
out, we're really not stuck in traffic.
No, we're really not. That's a good point.
There's very few parts of town that you do get a little more congested, but Myrtle Beach proper is a super easy place to get around, especially if you're local, because you know all the avenues, everything's perpendicular, parallels to each other, and there's multiple roads that you can go. And so I am never stuck in traffic, even in the middle of the summer when we have the most people in town. And I think that's great.
Yeah, it's true. We really don't. I can't think of a time where we go out, summer or not, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. All
Yeah,
these people
never.
coming into town. Now, we do see crazy people zooming up and down the street and that kind of stuff. But
People don't know where they're going and
Yeah.
drive.
so now that's a good point, though. You brought that up. Traffic here is dangerous.
This is true.
Okay, so there's a lot of accidents here because people are coming on vacation and they're rushing. I can't tell you how many times I've been sitting in a stoplight. Somebody runs the red light and nails somebody or just misses them, or major accidents happen because people run red lights or in a rush to get to their vacation and they're not thinking or they don't know.
Or they
That happens
turn
a lot.
like 2 lanes right away because they realize they missed their turn instead of just going, and then they cut somebody off or get in an accident.
So driving, it can be very dangerous here.
Yeah.
That's true. And
I mean, it wouldn't be. I
should
wouldn't say
research
like
the
it's
accident
dangerous,
rate.
but I would say you just have to be aware, especially during the heavy tourism season.
I would like to compare.
There's people from all over, but the insurance rates, I believe, are like one of the highest, if not the highest, in the state for car insurance because of the number of accidents we have. But we also do have a lot of motorcycle accidents, and a lot of people come down here and don't wear helmets.
Well, the bike week, they come down and then everybody's all crazy and they're having fun, and then accidents happen.
But this is what you get when you have, thousands and thousands of people in town that don't know where they're going.
Well, I
and
wouldn't
then
say
you have-
thousands. We have a million people.
Well, during at
during
a
the
time.
season.
Yeah.
It's like a million a week or something close, just under.
No, for sure. Yeah.
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people coming in town. And then the people that live here, we have people from the north that are used to maybe a more defensive driving. And we have people down south that are slower and let everybody out. And it sometimes doesn't, it's not a good combo sometimes on the road.
That's another point too. I think that Myrtle Beach does a great job. Carolina Forest, we're back on, but Carolina Forest, Myrtle Beach does a great job at handling the extra people that come in during the hot times. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not just that it doesn't feel that way, but that's a lot to handle. All those people come in downtime versus the hot season. That's a big adjustment.
There are certain roads in town that people come and leave out of, but if you're living here, you're not really on those roads for the most part.
Yeah.
Especially Carolina Forest. Again, we're out of the traffic from the tourism. We're just normal day to day.
So let's talk a little bit about property values. So things that are near and dear to our heart. we had steady growth, I think, until when we, what is it, 2013 we were here, 2014. Steady growth, pretty, like most places in the country. Then you had COVID, which was just like boom. And since then, that was an explosion of people and prices.
Well, finally, people could work remotely from anywhere.
Yes.
And they were like, I'm moving to the beach. We had a ton of clients that they just found it as their opportunity to move to the beach that they had wanted to do during that period of time.
Yeah, and good for them. But it has changed, like it has in many places, the affordability. And so that's an interesting, the average price points. If you have questions about what the price points are in Carolina Forest, we do videos every month on everywhere in the beach: condos, Carolina Forest, single families, townhomes, you name it.
And at the current moment, Carolina Forest single family homes are in a balanced market. And condos and townhomes in Carolina Forest have just been stuck in a buyer's market. So if y'all wanted to know the quick breakdown of what's going on right now in Carolina Forest.
Yeah. And so I think that it's going to be interesting this year to see what takes place. But we've got a lot of rentals that they put up too.
Yeah, there used to
a lot of
be
apartments.
hardly any places to rent in Carolina Forest, and we've seen a whole bunch of different type of rental options, from neighborhoods that are like houses that it's just a fully rental community, even though it's houses.
That's crazy to see.
We have several of those, and then we also have the apartment complexes, which we used to not have, but a handful. Now we have a ton. Also, there is like Indigo, which is what would you call it?
I don't know.
Like a help care center
for
memory care and stuff, where you can live if you need assistance.
Assisted living.
Thank you. My brain. I'm sick.
Yeah, that's not.
Okay.
Assisted living is true.
But we have that now in Carolina Forest as well. We used to also not have, when we first moved there, any really storage facilities for all the people moving in and out and moving around town.
Man, storage facilities.
Oh my gosh, they're popping up
camoli.
like one after another.
Storage facilities,
rentals,
and banks.
Banks, yeah.
Oh my gosh, if another bank pops up. Banks, storage facilities, apartments. We've had a mad rush of.
We've seen a boom of those for sure.
So a lot of those have been the three.
In neighborhoods.
Well, for sure, neighborhoods too. So I think all of them have been popping up left and right. So we're getting a little bit of everything. And I think inventory obviously is growing, days on market. So yes, for sure. Anything else you want to say on housing? On the housing and the rentals and that type of stuff?
Almost 80% of people in Carolina Forest, I believe the number is, actually own a home.
Yeah.
So even though we're talking about rental opportunities becoming more available, it's still, for the most part, people actually buying homes in the Carolina Forest area and putting roots down.
It's interesting to watch all these changes take place with Carolina Forest growing. So what would you say, if you had to say, who is it best for? Like, why would someone want to move to Carolina Forest versus Myrtle Beach or versus a Charleston or a Wilmington? I mean, what would make someone want to come here instead?
Well, again, I think Charleston and Wilmington, it's harder to access the beach. Carolina Forest, you can be 10 minutes from the beach at your house and you can feel like you're a million years away. You have brand new, beautiful custom homes. You have waterway communities. I mean, Wilmington and Charleston does have the waterway, but the access to the beach, again, like here we have the waterway easy access and the beach easy access all throughout the Grand Strand, not just like a little area here and there. It's so easy to access that.
And if you want newer construction, a lot of gated communities,
it's just a great area with so many fun things to do. I think that's what I have loved too, is because Hudson was born here, and throughout the years we've been able to enjoy so many fun tourist activities Broadway at the beach, Barefoot Landing, the Market Common, the boardwalk, everything in town so close to Carolina Forest. I mean, each of those is a 15, 20-minute drive, and you can be in so many really cool spots that you feel like you're on vacation. It's like a staycation.
I have a question for you. What are some things that let's talk a little bit about the future. We've talked about what Carolina Forest used to be.
Mhm.
We've talked about what is happening right now in general. What would you like to see in Carolina Forest? What is not in Carolina Forest that you're like, I'd like to see that? I have a couple things that I think that aren't there, really Myrtle Beach too, but mostly Carolina Forest. So what would you like to see in Carolina Forest? It's on the top of your mind when you think about it.
I think the road widening
Okay.
on
Road
River
widening.
Oaks, first of all, would be amazing. I think we need a new custom home neighborhood because all of the ones that are really here the lots are kind of on their way out. There's not very many left. So if you want to build a custom home and from scratch, you need to get a lot solidified sooner than later. So those are my major things because I think we have pretty much everything I would want as a mom and somebody that works, everything that busy person, and also enjoying the beach. So I'm pretty content, but let's listen to Negative Nelly. What would you?
Oh, come on. That's extreme. Just because I have some ideas, what the heck? So I would have named the two that you named, but one other one that I would name, most of you don't know that I'm very health conscious. I think healthier food options.
We are getting a lot more healthier food options.
Okay, it depends on what you call healthy,
Ugh.
but we do have a lot of fast food restaurants. We are getting more food options. There's no doubt about it, and I love it. And we're getting more towards the Myrtle Beach side, some in Carolina Forest. It'll come as growth comes. But I think maybe some healthy shopping, like more like the Fresh Market in Myrtle, something more in Carolina Forest. I would also like to see more health options as far as restaurants we can go eat at. It's not fast food.
I mean, that's tough in general.
It is tough.
Anywhere you're at.
Yes, I agree. But I think that's.
But we do
important
have
too.
a lot of fitness centers all around Carolina Forest.
It's true.
So you might eat unhealthy, but you've got lots of places to work it off.
That's a good way to put it, I guess. But if you could eat healthy, then you wouldn't have to put it on in the first place. So, but I think we're being picky. I think we do have a really good situation here, and
It's amazing.
yes, and I think it's a really great place to live. And I think you covered it pretty well in that. Is there anything else that we haven't covered? Is there any other statistics that you had that you wanted to share, or no? You feel like you covered the statistics?
I mean, I think that's the main thing, but I think the main goal is to share why somebody would want to come here and then at least take a very serious look at the Carolina Forest area to live. I think that a lot of people don't know about Carolina Forest. We didn't know about it. When we moved here, we had no idea that it existed. So I think getting the word out that this little community exists, all of the great things about it, it is growing, it is adding better things every month, every year, which is great. But I think not a lot of people even know it's out there.
Yes, 100%. I think also that small town feel. There's some people that are going to like the small town feel. I think this has that.
I agree.
Myrtle Beach, Carolina Forest area.
There's a lot of times where you go out and you see at least one person at the restaurant, at the store. The owners of the shops here know who you are. It really has that small town feel, which is so cool considering all of the things we have here and all the millions of people that come in and out of our area.
Yeah.
To have that small town feeling and vibe is so rare and unique
I agree.
for everything that we have to offer.
For sure. So we did a new time tonight. We did 5:00. We're probably going to keep it at 5 for a while, but we might have a surprise in a week or two with where we're doing these. So we'll see, but we might make some changes. But if you watch this later, if you're not watching it live and you end up seeing this later, we'd love to hear from you as to where you live now. Where are you? Are you in Carolina Forest? What do you like about it? What do you like about Myrtle Beach? We just wanted to cover some of the things of, give a little history of Carolina Forest, because we get a lot of questions on Carolina Forest. People are wondering, why would I live in Carolina Forest? And I think we'll do these videos on other areas as well, but I think it's important.
And we have we have a whole playlist on our YouTube channel specific to Carolina Forest, where we go over these topics that we've discussed tonight more in depth, and give you maps and community tour of the playground. Actually, they just tore down the Carolina Forest playground, and their exciting news is that they're building a brand new one, which I think is going to have some splash pads and some cool stuff. And they're changing the old playground into more soccer field. So it just keeps getting better and better. But if you're looking for a great place to raise a family that's in a desirable school system, close to the beach, you have doctors, shopping, restaurants, everything that you'd want right there within a couple miles from you, you really need to consider Carolina Forest area of Myrtle Beach, because it truly is a unique community.
I 100% agree. And if you're thinking about buying or building in Carolina Forest, or if you just want a realistic breakdown of your options, subscribe to our channel, reach out to us, because we always say what's funny is we look at our subscribers, and on our YouTube channel, some people are watching this on different platforms that we stream onto, but our YouTube channel, we have a lot of people that are on our channel, but a lot that also view and don't subscribe. So please feel free to subscribe, because we would love to know who you are, and let us know future topics that you'd love to see. I would love to know what people want us to talk about.
So, we got a comment that says, I absolutely agree with the connection vibe that everyone has. And I think that's really cool. Other people agree. I mean, it just is what it is. You have to live here to know.
100%.
But it's great. Yeah.
It's a great area. So if you need anything, let us know, reach out. We appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next week, next Thursday, when we survive the ice storm.
That'll be interesting.
All right, everybody. Take care. See you next week.